You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box. It is the NFL offseason, ladies and gentlemen. There is rumors, whirlwinds, and things of that nature going on at all times. It is March Madness time as well. We are going to get into some bracket talk. I don't know how much bracket talk. I don't know if we are your guys for expert analysis, but guess what, buddy? I love it, and I love gambling, so like all of you out there. Just listen to the MMA podcast to know that I love gambling, and I love losing money, okay? I don't even like winning it. I love losing it. So we're going to get into all of that. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by the Ty Capone. Ty, what's it like down there in the Pete's today? I haven't gotten my usual update this week.
It's about 70s, mid-70s, very sunny, so looking good, feeling good. About to go to the beach this Sunday possibly. Yeah, dude, March Madness, I'm here. I don't know about you, but I'm
ready to go.
This is my time of the year. I got some picks. I got some upsets. I got some guys that are going to be household names. I'm super. I don't know who I have winning at all, though. That's the part I'm really struggling on because I don't want to go with Purdue, UConn, Houston. I don't know, but I do like some of my picks. I can give some away. I'm going to give a little teaser.
Like that.
If anybody out there wants to join my bracket, let's get it. We have about 70, 80 people in there. I think there's a baseball player, a current Oriole, is also in our bracket pool.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool. Actually, it might be the Nationals, but either way,
it's all the same.
We have a bunch of people. So yeah, let me know. Hit me up in the DMs. Let me know if you want to join. I got Matt. I recruited Matt. I got a couple other people. So I am super excited. I'm like going like round by round, taking a couple hours off, trying to think, all right, who do we got here? I think I see some upsets. Anytime I say that, I feel like I end up fucking up. So let's see what we can do.
I'll tell you what infuriates me is that they show me the NIT schedule on here sometimes, and I'm like, God knows nobody cares for that.
70 teams declined NIT invites,
yes.
So they have like the absolute worst teams in there. And there's another invitation. I think the CBI, the College Basketball Invitational. There's like an 11-22 team in there. It's like, what are we even doing? Alabama A&M. I don't think they should play in the postseason, but what do I know?
Yeah, exactly. What do I know? Is Villanova in that thing? Are they playing in that? God forbid.
They should have been in the tournament.
Nah.
And yes, I say tournament, not the tournament.
Yeah.
The tournament. Tournament or is it tournament? What should you say?
I sometimes call it tournament. I think it's a tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament.
Yeah. Sometimes I say tournament.
I kind of go back and forth. I don't know. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's like water and water, but Villanova should have been in. Glad they weren't because they had like 15 losses, but still they should have been in over UVA, who got their absolute dicks blown off. They almost went an hour of real life time without scoring a field goal. That's insane.
Yeah,
that could even happen.
That's that Tony Bennett lifestyle.
They should never be invited back. There should be like a rule that the committee goes by, the UVA rule, where it's like, all right, if you have a decent record, we have to, if we fall asleep during one of your games, you're not getting in.
Yeah, next year you're banned if we fall asleep. I also think the Johnny should have got in. I think that was the team that
they got screwed. Indiana State should have kind of got screwed with Robbie Avila. Yeah, the Johnny should have got in. I mean, Rick Pitino, telling everybody they're worthless losers. Just for them to go on this huge run, it felt like a nice little story, but what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Let's start off with what we are our centralized focus here on this podcast, which is the Philadelphia sports scene. The Eagles are always at the forefront of our mind. I wish it was something. I wish it was different, Ty. I wish we were a full Sixers podcast and we could just actually no, that would be miserable this time of day. Although they did pick up a big win the other day, which that is a good thing. But the Eagles have made some moves literally the second we got done recording last week. Devin White becomes a Philadelphia Eagle when we just got done talking about how we don't know if we want him. He's got some flaws in his game and things of that nature. But I think he's only 26 years old. 1 year, I believe it was like $7.5 million, and there's some incentives, of course, involved in that. But what I was saying, and I still believe this to be true, Ty. I think at the end of the day, it's just about we needed some help in that linebacker room. I don't know if this guy's going to change the world or become the reincarnation of Jeremiah Trotter. I don't think that's going to be the case. But he had some speed. He had some athleticism. It's a warm body that's not Nick Morrow or Zach Cunningham. Or there was some bad. Oh, what was the Shaq Leonard? Who I've never.
Oh man.
I mean, talk about a guy who was completely cooked. That I don't think Devin Leonard. Jesus. Oh my God, could you imagine that hybrid?
That would be
That's
pitiful to watch.
horrible. But
I'd rather watch Zach Bond.
yeah, I don't think. Shout out to Zach Bond. I don't think he's generationally cooked like Shaq Leonard was. But I think. I think it's a positive. Would you agree? I know you're not a Devin White guy.
It's crazy because I love Devin White. He's from LSU.
Yeah.
I remember him way back in high school. There was a bunch of talk of Alabama stealing him from I think he went to North Webster in Louisiana. He was a running back and linebacker, and he was just scary. Saban wanted him to play running back at Bama, and he ended up staying home. So he's just a country boy, rides his horse. He seems like a cool dude. Like you said, he's only 26. I believe he just turned 26. Great athlete. When he gets downhill, man, he's scary. He hits hard. He's a good blitzer. They used him. It seems like he's not really a good blitzer, but they just Tampa just set him, they let him loose and said, all right, go make a play. And almost 4 out of every 5 plays that he would make were him just taking a play off. And the 5th play was a big splash play, so you'd see it on SportsCenter or you'd see it in the game. Johnny Page did a nice breakdown. There's some things he likes in Devin White. Funny enough, his coverage ability, which has been kind of a liability. I mean, most of his game has been a liability in his 5 years, but coverage-wise, he's given up a lot of catches. But I'm not sure how much of that is him letting everything in front of him, playing linebacker, and just kind of letting a guy catch a ball for 5-6 yards and then tackling him short of the first down or whatever. Who knows why he's given up 83% receiving rate? Who knows? But I think his athleticism, his speed, you can play him somewhere, man. There's a way you can make it work for sure. It's not like he's completely lost all of his abilities. Now he does, for some reason, hit the wrong hole a lot in the run game. Over pursues, kind of gets lost. He can kind of get stuck on blocks. It seems like not really good at disengaging. So it seems like a work in progress. Not a lot of money really. High risk, high reward, but he's not going to be the anchor of this defense. So you put him next to Nakobe Dean, have Zach Bond, and whoever else interchange run out. I'm sure they'll draft a linebacker in the mid to late rounds also. And I'm sure they're also not done signing maybe another linebacker, maybe somebody that can play in space a little bit. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they deploy Devin White. He's a heat-seeking missile. Maybe if they just try to work on him as like a spy or a late blitzer.
Yeah.
I think he could excel in that role 100%. And
I think he's just a weapon, Ty, right? I mean,
there's definitely possibilities there. It just seems like he's left so much to be desired in his 5 years. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he's going to play, but his tackling's gotten better. So he's not missing 20 tackles a year anymore. So that's good. We'll see. I mean, watching the film, there's really not a lot of great. There's a lot of bad moments, I should say, on film, but hopefully we can hone him in a little bit and get him on track and playing around. Hopefully, a solid middle linebacker, Nakobe Dean, if he stays injury free, will help him also. So I'm excited. I mean, it's not that often LSU boys come to Philly, so I'm here.
You gotta enjoy it while it's here. Another move they made while we were off the past week was Kenny Pickett is the new backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles agreed to acquire Kenny Pickett and a 2024 4th-round pick, which is the 120th overall pick, from the Steelers in exchange for a 2024 3rd-round pick, which is the 98th overall, and a pair of 2025 7th-round picks. So essentially just kind of a move down in the draft to pick up Kenny Pickett. I saw some people say with Justin Fields, why wouldn't they just go get Justin Fields since he went for a 6th and could turn into a fourth sort of thing? And I mean, I understand that thought process, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I like the move, this kind of move. It seems like the lesser of two evils in the sense that, if you did get Justin Fields, it would have been a sort the second Hurts didn't play well or, things started to go awry or go left. there would have been the, put Fields in conversations happening. And apparently what happens on sports radio really gets in the heads of a lot of these athletes, and the team just can't handle any sort of adversity. So at least they have a serviceable backup in Kenny Pickett, which I think he's serviceable. I don't think he was horrible in his time with Pittsburgh, and I don't think even if he was, you can blame him all that well with the abomination that was the Steelers' offense for the last 3-4 years. So, I think it's a good move.
Me too. I mean, for what it's worth, I know this might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but his Pro Football Focus grades haven't been bad. Like, really. I mean, his first year 75.5, last year 70.6. I think a lot of that you attribute to how many drops he had. I mean, 19 as a rookie and then 13 last year. 7% drop percentage. Not great, and also had probably the worst offensive coordinator, offensive coaching staff in the league, if not,
and a bad line too. They had a bad line. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the receivers, I mean, Pickens is decent, but my boy Deontay Johnson, they're decent, but nobody really that good.
Yeah.
Like I guess I would say Pickens is good, but he's kind of inconsistent. Frymouth, average, and they had Chase Claypool out there for a little bit. They had Allen Robinson, the corpse of Allen Robinson out there playing wide receiver 3. The speedster Calvin Austin, he's okay. And then running back wise, Jalen Warren and Najee Harris seemed like a pretty good 1-2 punch. But again, the offense, the O-line, those guys are kind of just everybody on that offense was just okay, and then couple that with an awful, awful offensive coordinator and even a defense that would get banged up a lot. That team just had no continuity, no progress. They couldn't stay on track at all. And you can blame Kenny Pickett for sure. I mean, he's not great, but part of being a decent quarterback or part of evaluating quarterback is seeing what he has around him. And his situation was dog water, man. So he's going to be in a much better spot here. He's not going to be really asked to play much, if at all. And I think whenever he comes in, I think he's going to have, he's going to have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
We'll see who else we have. We'll see who our wide receiver 3 is. I'm sure it'll be an upgrade from last year. I mean, right now it's Devontae Parker. So that's already an upgrade from Quez Watkins. I would love to add another tight end in the draft, get one of those late guys like a Tucker Kraft, somebody that's athletic, hasn't played that much, but from a smaller school. I would love that.
Yeah.
Maybe another running back. So he's going to be in a much better situation, going to be asked to do much less, and there's not going to be much pressure on him, battling for the quarterback spot, the starting spot, when maybe he wasn't ready. So, I love the signing or the trade, I should say. We moved back 20 spots, basically, right? We traded this pick.
Essentially, yeah.
A pick this year. So nothing wrong with that. Yeah, maybe Justin Fields made more sense because Jalen Hurts is kind of that dual threat guy, but I don't think that's necessarily how it works. Also, nobody wants Justin Fields, it seems. So
there's something going on there. I don't know if they just think he stinks. I don't know. I didn't get the vibe that he's horrible. I mean,
yeah,
I'm also not paid to evaluate talent and quarterbacks, so who knows? It seems like nobody really wanted to pay. I mean, if I was Atlanta before, I think I'd rather have Justin Fields than Kirk Cousins. Not just with all the surrounding factors, with Cousins coming off of an Achilles, being paid that much money, and if all you had to do is give up a 5th or a 6th for Justin Fields, yeah, I'll take my chances with that and maybe try to get something down the line. I don't know. That's just my thought process, but. Yeah, I think that so far so good. It seems like the free agency has started to slow down a little bit, and that might be the end of the real, whirlwind of moves for all these different teams. I see the Eagles signed like a D tackle and a linebacker, kind of just like depth guys.
PJ Mustapher and Oren Burks. Oren Burks from the Niners, not bad. Rotational linebacker. I forgot we signed him. I was talking about linebackers earlier. You just reminded me. Decent, nothing crazy. Didn't spend a lot of money. In spurts, he played pretty well for a Niners defense that was good, so they didn't ask him to do much. Same thing he's going to be doing here. He's going to be a rotational depth guy. Maybe he doesn't make the team. Maybe he's a special teams guy, but I'm sure, again, looking at some of his grades and looking at some of what the Niners fans said about him, he was decent. He was average. I guess he was like our Nick Morrow. But played much less and was asked to do much less. So
it feels like now the conversation is going to be surrounding whether the Eagles are going to bring back Son Reddick, somebody like that. It sounds like at this point in time, it is just a question of if and when somebody will step up and give them the right offer. They are not going to move him until then. And if they don't get it, they will hold on to him. That's from Adam Schefter, apparently. So I don't know. It seems like It seems like Reddick's on the way out. That's the vibe I've gotten from all the different things. Bringing back Josh Sweat, which me and you are not huge fans of. I mean, for the money and everything, but I think if it meant Reddick or Sweat, I think we're picking Reddick 10 times out of 10, and another one if you gave us the opportunity. It's just, I think I don't know. I don't want to say Sweat's cooked, but I just didn't like what I saw from him the second half of the season, especially, and just him me having to put him on a milk carton and look for him at a certain point because he just was missing for 8 weeks of the season, especially when we needed him the most. I mean, with all due respect, Reddick was disappearing as well in some of these games, so I don't want to act like he's the savior or something like that. But Ty, I think we should move on to our just average segment. I wouldn't even say average. Our typical just box office segment. That is the reading of a mock draft that we have selected. And this one, Ty, that I will read. You may pick one as well. I know you are a mock draft connoisseur.
I want to make one.
No, you might make one. That will be big. That'll be big time box office if that happens. But Daniel Jeremiah's 3.0 mock. This guy making mocks every day. Must be a nice job for that guy to just be pumping these things out. Content.
Mocking and cocking, dude.
Yeah, mocking and cocking. Caleb Williams, his mock draft. No, his pro day was today, and I think it's already it's settled that he's the one pick. I think it was settled 3 years ago when we first saw him, or 2 years ago when we first saw him at Oklahoma. It's kind of the decision was made. That man's going one. Gives the Mahomes vibes. I will say this, and I don't care if this goes down as dumb. I still am not sold on Caleb Williams. I still think that man, something's off there. Something is off, Ty. I can't tell you what, and I'll get there eventually.
Is it the nails that he paints? Painting his nails.
Maybe
it's just people don't like it.
He has a lot of prima donna aspects to him, and I'm not saying it's like that's not the end of the world. There's plenty of prima donnas who've had great success in the NFL or in professional sports. I don't know. I just think your quarterback really can't be like that. I think he's got to be.
Funny.
God.
Funny enough, Louis Riddick was just talking about his pro day today. He was there. He said he wasn't, he didn't wow anybody with his arm or anything. Not that you need to see him at his pro day to really gauge his arm. You know what he's capable of. I know last year he wasn't making that many big throws in the pocket. He was mainly doing his work outside the pocket.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago in 2022, I know he had Jordan Addison, but he was making a lot of throws in the pocket. Now, was that because of Jordan Addison? Was it not? The team was a mess. The O-line was a mess. The defense was just an absolute joke of a mess. One of the worst defenses in Division I, all of Division I. So he was kind of asked to do a lot. He's had huge, high standards since he came in. Took Spencer Rattler's job, made him transfer to South Carolina like a little bitch.
Jesus.
Well, Spencer Rattler was. Remember when he was on that QB1 show?
That was a prima donna off, dude. There, dude.
He was like being a dickhead to his backup quarterback. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? Like in high school, I'm like, that's supposed to be like your guy, but I'm not a big fan of Spencer Rattler.
Never have been either.
I like Caleb Williams, man. He can run. I don't know who he reminds me of necessarily. I've seen some people give him Aaron Rodgers comparisons. He's more mobile than that, but I think the way he moves and his ability to climb the pocket, to maneuver the pocket, and have that awesome arm and make crazy throws, very accurate. I don't really have any question marks. I mean, I have some question marks with Drake May. I love Jaden Daniels, but I have a lot of question marks with Jaden Daniels. I think he kind of reminds me of Justin Fields, which we'll see how that turns out. But I think Caleb Williams, slam dunk number one pick. I see a lot of people criticizing him, saying he's not a winner. It's funny because in high school, all he did was win. And he also won a Heisman. So I'm not sure what else he needs to win. I mean, he can't win a national championship when you have the worst defense in college football. Also, there's a lot of number one picks who have, a lot of people who have went number one that haven't won in college. It's not that easy. You can't just because you're that good of a player, that great of a player, doesn't mean you just automatically win. I don't think J.J. Watt and Dominican Sue, Aaron Donald, who didn't go number one, but just some of these dominant players in college, I don't think any of these guys won jack shit. So that doesn't really matter to me necessarily. You call somebody who's not a winner. He's not a winner. Like, why isn't he? Because he hasn't won before? It doesn't mean he can't be. It's not. That's not really how that works, But I think he's a slam dunk number one, and I think he's also going to a great spot. If they draft Malik Neighbors or a wide receiver with that second first round pick, they'll have him, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. That's nasty, man. DeAndre Swift mixed in with Rashawn Johnson, Khalil Herbert. You have Cole Kmet. That's a good system you're walking into. I'm sure they're going to upgrade that O-line. The defense is pretty decent. They have to upgrade that too. I don't know, man. I think the Bears, they have something brewing, and they can really thank the Carolina Panthers for that because they kind of just set it up on a tee for them to pretty much accelerate this rebuild.
It's a hell of a move last year by the Bears to get off that first pick and just kind of fleece the Panthers. I don't know if Bryce Young will be a good player or not. It's just more of that wasn't their guy. They still had another year of Fields, and then they were still stunk enough the Panthers stunk enough that they were able to get the one pick again, so they can get the guy that they probably wanted the whole time, and Caleb Williams. You know who else wasn't a winner in college, Ty? Ben Simmons. So that's all. I'll just leave that there.
He was in high school, though.
He was in high school.
He also shot the three in high school. So
did,
I don't know what's going on.
There's take that for what it's worth. I'm just gonna leave that there with no explanation. How about Drake May going to the Commanders, number 2, Jaden Daniels, number 3, to the Patriots? That just. I know those Boston fans. It's going to make them sick to have to
I don't want my guy.
that.
I do not want my
those
guy.
Those racist Boston fans. Yeah, those disgusting
that.
Racist Boston fans. Just wanted to make sure I hadn't, just disrespect the Boston fans as much as I possibly can. How about the Vikings? I believe they had the Vikings trading up to the 4th pick to get J.J. McCarthy here. Now the fun really begins in italics. So there you go. That's love a guy with a mock draft who's having some fun. How about the Jets trading up to the 5th pick to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Well, I mean, the rich just get richer, Didn't
they just sign Mike Williams?
Yeah,
I don't think that's really, and Garrett Wilson. I don't think they're going to do all that.
Well,
that seems like a lot.
Hey, I mean, if you want to try to lure Aaron Rodgers away from the Oval Office, then you're going to have to make some serious moves to get him back over here. We got Malik Neighbors going 6 to the Giants. Joe Alt.
No, keep him away, please.
Shout out Joe Alt.
I hate this mock.
The Titans experiment with Andre Dillard did not work out last season. That's a shocker.
Really? Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I could have told you that one. Dallas Turner going to the Falcons. Then you got Roma Dunzier going to the Bears at 9. Do you think that's...
It's a good pick, yeah.
You know what, though? It's kind of tough for me when all these Samoans are getting drafted and I have to try and say their names. It's really inconsiderate of them. But the Chargers get a man named Fuaga. So he's a...
Talise
Fuaga. Right? That's close enough. All right.
I think that's it.
Whatever. He's a tackle. He's doing his thing. How about Jared Verse going 11? That's the Vikings trade. So, yeah. We have been big fans of him on this pod. Brock Bowers going 12. Who's playing quarterback for the Broncos this year?
Is it Drew Lock? Is that him?
No,
not sure.
He went somewhere. He used to play. He used to be there. I don't know. Well, good luck to whoever is playing quarterback there. I guess they'll figure that out. Michael Penix Jr. going 13 to the Raiders. So what a quarterback room that's going to be. Gardner Minshew. And then elite Aiden O'Connell will be out there. Fashanu going 14. Quinyon Mitchell going 15. There we go. Another Samoan. Fotanu. Troy.
Yeah.
He's going number 16. 17, Terrion Arnold. 18, J.C. Latham. Oh, okay. No. Fuck. Damn it. Well, Ty, Latte is going number 19. Yeah, he's going number 19. 20, Tyler Guyton, which is a guy I actually would consider. We've had success with Oklahoma offensive tackles, so sign me up. Graham Barton. There's a white gentleman from Duke. I have not seen his name on here recently. But here you go, Ty. At 22, Nate Wiggins is who the Eagles are going to pick.
I like it. That's so funny. I'm doing a mock on the PFF mock draft simulator. Here's my first pick.
There you go.
I want him or Terrion Arnold. I think I've kind of settled. I'm going to add to my list, but I'm going to make a list.
What the fuck, dude? There's some fucking mock draft playing on here. Yeah,
I was like, hold on. Somebody else is giving us a mock draft. I don't know how many
brother.
mock drafts we're doing here, but I think that's who I want. I think I want Nate Wiggins or Terrion Arnold. I guess Kool-Aid would be cool, if you will, but Terrion Arnold is the Bama corner I want. I think that's just a player I want. I would also like Latu.
Who?
maybe Mr. Latte.
Okay.
If somebody falls to us, maybe I don't know. But I love Nate Wiggins and Terry Arnold at those spots.
I don't want to disrespect Mr. Latu because that he has a sick name, but I just I can't do it. Liatu Latu, is that it? Liatu Latu.
Latu.
That's a sick fucking name though, dude.
It is sick, right?
My name's
passes
Matt.
the test.
Like that's stupid.
Yeah, I'm Tyler.
Yeah, his is Liatu. Like it's fucking. I miss Monte Teo. I'll just say that.
That was a good name.
He was my
all
guy.
name team.
Fake girlfriend. That was the best. Best time to be a Notre Dame fan. Brian Thomas Jr. going 23. Would you pick a wide receiver in the first round? I don't think the Eagles will, but would you?
If it was Brian Thomas, yeah, no, but they won't.
Okay.
It's probably smart not to. I can't lie.
So I would probably go corner, O-line, and then pretty much anything else. Because I would still pick an O-lineman because they got Jackson Powers Johnson here. That guy, I know he's a firefighter, right? And this is the guy we were talking about. Looks exactly like
Latu's the firefighter.
Oh Jesus, no, that's right. Latu's out on my book. This guy just gives me hardcore Danny Watkins vibes from Oregon. Just looks like him. Looks gritty. He's going to the Cowboys here, though.
He's the next. Oh no, he's got to stay home.
What do you mean? He's gonna stay home? Where's he from?
I don't know, but he's not from here. So,
okay, so stay home, dude. That's stay home. Get away from me. How about Amarius Mims going 25?
It's from Utah. There you go.
Oh, then I want him. He's just ready to run his head into a wall multiple times. He has no thoughts going through his head. Darius Robinson.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy is a guy I would consider, but I think we already have enough interior guys. Kool-Aid going 29. Jerzon Newton, he's going 28.
Jerzon Newton, St. Pete boy.
Cooper DeJean. Now for all my guys out there, for all my white athletes, this is kind of our Michael Jordan now. He could maybe change the change the narrative,
change the game
around the white cornerback. All jokes aside, apparently he is pretty good, but
yeah, he is awesome.
Baltimore has a knack for watching tough, smart, and versatile players fall into its lap. We see it happen once again with DeJean,
Kyle Hamilton,
who comes from a noted Ravens factory at the University of Iowa, the alma mater of current Raven Tyler Linderbaum and former Raven Geno Stone and Marshall Yonda. So there you go. Cooper DeJean, gritty, sneaky athletic, just all those adjectives they use to describe the white athletes in all the sports. But there you go. There's our mock draft, our Daniel Jeremiah mock draft. Are you satisfied with what's going on here? Getting Nate Wiggins? Obviously you are. That was your guy.
Yeah, I like Nate Wiggins. I'm definitely fine with getting him there.
All right. So I think that's our good NFL talk. We're going to continue to just keep bringing that up every once in a while. Ty, I think we should move on to the NCAA March Madness, the NCAA tournament, baby. This is my favorite time of year. My birthday has always been around this time of year, so I always used the one day on Friday to get off of school. That was always one of the things I wanted for my birthday, was to get off school and sit at home and watch the first couple games of the tournament. That was
the best. Was being in school and figuring out
once,
a way to watch it.
Like your phones, because I sound so old when I say that, but once I got like a smartphone and I was able to watch it on my phone, then that's when it was elite. But when I was in high school, you weren't allowed to have your phone out, or you get it taken away from you for 2 days. That's insane. Yeah, I feel like a fossil having this conversation. So let's not talk.
Yeah, the cool teachers like, you know what? I'm going to put the games on.
Oh, that was the best. Yeah, there was always some guy, and then there was always some hardo dude or even a woman who was just like, no, we're gonna learn about we're gonna do your vocab homework right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. All right, pal. I'm gonna make sure I take off tomorrow. So, listen, tournament wise, we're not gonna go through everything, pick your brackets and whatnot. Just overall, the UConns of the world. Name a team that you think is gonna make that sort of run that we always see every year, where it's unexpected and you're like, wow, these guys have come out of nowhere. Unbelievable. What a Cinderella story. Oh, unbelievable. Can't believe that.
Who is, what would you, what seed or higher should I go with? You want to give me a double digit? Should I give you a double digit? There's always really a double digit.
There is a double digit that makes a
nice
run. Yeah, I have one.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I think it's NC State.
Ooh, listen, they just made a run. They're
That's
in
what
the
I'm
middle
saying.
of
Like,
a
I
run.
think they're on a heater right now, and I don't see a reason. I'm looking at the teams that they play in the first couple rounds. I mean, Texas Tech, which yeah, exactly, and then Kentucky.
Kentucky would be a little tough. The only problem is Kentucky plays little to no defense.
Exactly.
That's going to get you bounced from the tournament. I don't care who you are. You have to play a little bit of defense. Now, if you're defense only, like Iowa State, that's a problem because if you get behind early, you kind of can't battle back. It's kind of the problem that UVA always has.
Yeah.
They get down in a hole. They can't make a run to get back. So
and they can't score at all. They've never been able to.
Iowa State. Not a good. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust Kentucky, but I do think Kentucky has a decent little bracket because the two is Marquette. I think is it Cam Jones? One of the Jones guards is hurt. Let's see. Hold on, real quick. Is it Cam? Yeah, it's Cam Jones, and that's one of their best players. That's going to really hurt them. Western Kentucky's a sneaky good 15 seed. Honestly, Dom McHenry leading them at guard. He's pretty decent, but I don't think they're going to get it done. Either way, that play-in seed, I think that's tonight, right? Colorado and I can't think of the team they're playing, but the winner of that plays Florida, who's missing one of their best players.
Boise State.
So the part of that region is kind of banged up. So it's kind of open, at least I think it is. You also have Duke up there. I love the Catamounts. I really want to pick them, but I think Duke's gonna prove some people wrong that they're not always these first round busts, but it could happen. It could happen.
I wonder if Coach K is going to fake an illness and go down again.
Yeah. My double-digit Cinderella upset is from the same part of that bracket in the South region. JMU, the Dukes.
Wow.
James Madison, 31-3, 15-3 in the Fun Belt. They've won they're 10-0 in their last 10 games. They're very accurate from the field from three. Not great free throw shooting team, but that's okay. Terrence Edwards Jr. leading the way. I like what JMU does. I like the way they play. I've been watching them for a little bit. Just running roughshod over some of these decent teams. Akron, who's also in the tournament, smoked them a couple times. I'm going to go JMU. I think they have a pretty decent matchup with Wisconsin. The first round, that's the 5. Wisconsin 22-13 this year, 5-5 in their last 10, I believe. They just lost to Illinois. They almost lost to Purdue. They did beat them in OT. Losing to Purdue before that, losing to Illinois a couple times. Lost to Indiana, giving up Iowa, I should say, giving up 88 points. They don't play really good defense. They're banged up a little bit, I believe. Yeah, AJ Storr, or not AJ Storr. I think AJ Storr is their best player, but other than him, man, if he can't get going, I think they're going to be another team that's struggling to claw back into a game. So I like JMU, man. I think again, part of this region is going to be a mess. Houston's at the top of it. That's a little scary. But maybe Nebraska, maybe A&M can knock them off. JMU's going to have to beat Houston. But we've seen Houston choke before. So it's definitely something that can happen. I think if I were to go with another double-digit seed to make it far, easily the Drake Bulldogs. Wow. 28-6 in the Missouri Valley, 16-4 in the conference. Probably one of the best players in the tournament, Tucker DeVries. If you haven't watched him play, he's an absolute baller playing for his...
That was a guy I picked last year, right? His dad's coaching? Isn't that the deal? They lost,
right?
They lost a close one?
He plays for his dad. Yeah, I forget who they lost to. I don't know if it was... Not West Virginia.
They broke my heart last year, though. That I remember that because they were one of my big picks because he's like 6'6", 6'7", and he just gets buckets, dude, because he's pretty good.
Buckets. Ball handler. He's nasty, man. I'm trying to think of who they lost to last year. But
somebody's listening to this pod right now going, it's these guys. It's these guys.
It's Miami. It was Miami.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And then Miami went on a run, didn't they?
They did go on a run that nobody really saw coming. So that's where I'm really leaning heavily is they play Washington State first round. I like that 10-7 matchup really well for them. Washington State can't really score with them. Isaac Jones pretty solid for them for Washington State, but they just don't have that star power. And I think this is a huge I don't want to say mismatch, but for a 7-10 seed, yeah, I don't love them there. And then they play Iowa State second round. I think Iowa State could be in trouble with South Dakota State. Now, they're going to need more than Zeke Mayo leading the charge for it, but if South Dakota State can get Iowa State, catch them on a bad shooting night, I can see them making it close, but Iowa State in general probably holds South Dakota State to like 40, 50 points. But they play against Drake, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a much different story. Also, right above them, Illinois, BYU, Auburn. I don't like any of these teams in the East besides really UConn. So I think Drake is probably my strongest double-digit seed to make a run.
BYU has a dude named Khalifa who's huge, who bangs threes. I don't know. That's all I really know about them, so I'm not going to act like I'm an expert. But I was watching them one night, and the student section was going nuts because this guy had one of the cleanest jumpers. And he does not look like an athlete, does not look like a basketball player, and he was just cashing threes out. So, Ty, I just want to go through some of the first-round games, odds-wise, some of the lines, and see what your thought process is. Michigan State, Mississippi State. Michigan State's a -1.5 favorite.
Let me start off by tonight real quick.
Sure.
Colorado -3 is the play. I think they're going to beat Boise State easily. Boise State.
Colorado's pretty good.
Colorado is good. They're going to have like a top 10, top 15, maybe top 5 pick in Cody Williams. They're led by KJ Simpson, who gets buckets. I like Tristan Da Silva. I like Eddie Lampkin, the big boy down low. There's a couple big boys in this tournament. Eddie Lampkin's one of them from TCU. I like Colorado a lot, man. I've watched Boise State a couple times in the Mountain West. They just got smoked by Boise or New Mexico State, another team that I really like in this tournament, New Mexico State. Other than that, I mean, Tyson Degenhart is pretty solid. Chibuzo Agbo is pretty decent, but I don't see with Boise. I've seen it all year. They've just been up and down and up and down. I mean, it makes sense. That's why they're in the first 4 games. Same with Colorado. Colorado, if you can't really win games in the Pac-12, that kind of makes me a little nervous. But yeah. I do like some of the quote-unquote star power that Colorado has.
So, you like Michigan State or Mississippi State?
I like Mississippi State. I also kind of like Mississippi State to upset UNC. I don't know if it'll happen, but I think they match up really well with them. They have one of my favorite players, one of my favorite duos in Tolu Smith and Josh Hubbard, the lead guard Josh Hubbard and the big man Tolu Smith, to kind of match up with RJ Davis and 25th year senior Armando Bacot. But and they also, it's pretty much just those two guys that are the scorers for New Mexico, Mississippi State. But they also have a couple guys, Deshaun Davis, is it Raquel Smith, I think, or Markel Smith, and then DJ Jeffries, long wing players that can defend, that can block shots, maybe just good athletes in general. I think they just match up with UNC pretty well. Chris Jans is also their coach, a very good coach. If you're not familiar with him, he was at New Mexico State before he was at Mississippi State, and he was balling. He also led New Mexico State. I believe the one year I picked them, they were a 13 or a 14, and they got a big upside. I believe that was 2018. Forgetting who it was over, but he went 122 and 32 there. So he's already got Mississippi State back-to-back in the dance, doing good things in a tough conference. So that could be a sneaky pick. Michigan State's going to be tough to beat Izzo, right? I mean, he's always going to have his guys ready, but I like Mississippi State in that one.
Okay, so then we got a couple of stinker, not really stinker, but BYU Duquesne. BYU's 9.5.
Watch out for them Dukes.
Yeah, you never know. Creighton is 13.5. I like Creighton. I watched.
That's my team to make a deep run. That's not a high seed, but maybe a 3-4. I mean, UConn won as a 4 last year, so if there's like a 3-4-5 you can target, that's my squad, man. Yeah. I like Creighton a lot. I know they lost some games, but they played a lot of tough teams, and I think they turned it on as the year went on. Akron, pretty decent, but just not going to get it done.
Arizona, Long Beach State, 19.5. I don't think that's really a. I don't like betting lines like that. I
also don't like betting Arizona in March.
Yeah,
so.
No, they're not trustworthy whatsoever. Who's even coaching them these days? I don't even know. Used to be Sean Miller.
Tommy Lloyd.
Okay.
He was at Gonzaga for like 7 years, I think.
North Carolina -24.5. So that's against Wagner, against the boys. How about Illinois?
Seahawks, baby.
-11.5 against Morehead State.
Oh, Morehead State. Remember, they pulled off a huge upset as a 13. I know it was a while ago, so it has no bearings in this game. It was him, but I don't know if he was on that team. I forget the guy who pulled up at the top of the key and hit that 3 right in Louisville's face. I think it was Peyton Siva who got daggered, but I forget the guy's name. But Morehead State, really good player. Riley Minix from Vero Beach, Florida, 6'7", 230, can shoot, gets rebounds, pretty decent passer. He's going to be – it's always interesting to watch these games if you have a team that's like good, like who's Morehead State playing again?
Illinois.
Illinois has Terrence Shannon, but what if he has a bad game and you forgot that Morehead State has a star and now he's on and you're like, damn, who's this Riley Minix dude? He's got 35. Always interesting when one of these mid majors teams has a guy that just explodes in the tournament and nobody really sees it coming. So I would love for that to happen. They're only 11 point underdogs. 14-13s always win a game or maybe two in the tournament. So you got to watch out. That's one I would watch out for. Probably would take Illinois. I think they have the coaching in that's, again, Terrence Shannon is a stud. He gets buckets off the court issues, but still, I think they get it done.
Oregon, only a 1 point underdog, a 1.5 point underdog to South Carolina. I liked Oregon when I was
Oregon's hot
throughout the season. They are hot.
They went on a run and won their conference just as well.
Their center, what was his name, Dante?
Nafali Dante.
Dude, beast. Absolute monster.
Big scary fella, yeah.
So that's something to look out for. Nevada, 1.5 point favorite as the 10 seed over Dayton, the Flyers.
That's a tough one. I don't know. Those 7-10s and 9-8s, I'm always
Could go either way.
I'm just going to flip a coin,
Texas, 2.5 over Colorado State. Colorado State,
another
the 10
good one,
seed.
man.
That's a really good one. Thursday's got a lot of good games. Oakland and Kentucky.
Isaiah Stevens, good player for Colorado State. I like Oakland, but I'm probably just not going to get it done.
How about
McNeese?
Yeah, Gonzaga.
That's who I want to pick, man. 30-3. Will Wade, shunned from the NCAA. LSU said, we don't want you anymore. Goes down the road to McNeese. 30-3. Now, if you want to rewind a little bit to who they played in November, they played the University of the Bible Studies. They played Champion Christian.
Okay.
And not only did they play those schools, they played the University of Mississippi for women.
What?
Is what the schools play. Yeah, they didn't play women, but the University for women.
Okay. Well, so, I'm fading that.
Their non-conference schedule is pretty weak, and they're going up against Gonzaga, who's not as good, but they're definitely battle-tested. They've been there. They've done that. It would be interesting. Will Wade is very, very, very good, so do not underestimate him and the McNeese Broncos.
Iowa State, 15.5 against South Dakota State. You already talked about them a little bit.
Probably gets it done, yep.
How about Texas Tech is only 4.5 over NC State? Those are my boys. I might be betting that.
I like it.
Samford is a 7.5 dog against your Kansas Jayhawks. I know.
That might be an upset.
Your
man.
Jayhawks
I
have fallen on hard times this season.
They have Kevin McCullough is out for the tournament, which is crazy because a week ago they're like, yeah, he looks ready to go. They told the committee that this is the healthiest they've been all year, and then like, oh yeah, by the way, our second best player, maybe our first best player, out for the rest of the year. Cool, thanks. Also, rumors that he just didn't want to play. So I don't know what's going in Lawrence, but
that's great news. NCAA tournament, you don't want to play.
Yeah, Samford's best player, Accor, same first, same last name. Anytime there's a guy like that, he's really down to get buckets. So that's gonna be a little scary. They play boogie ball. Is that what it's called? I forget what they call it. It's something after their head coach. So they play a crazy frenetic pace. They won 18-3 in the SoCon, pretty good conference. I think they can win. Kansas hasn't lost in the first round in a long time when they, kind of used to always do it.
You think they're due?
They're not healthy. 4-13 seeds are always a tough matchup. The fact they're only 7-point favorite, 7.5, it's a little scary. I think they edge it out because I don't think Samford has anybody that can compete with Hunter Dickinson down low. However, we can't shoot for Dick, so I'm not sure. I was really close to picking Samford, but I'm going to go with Kansas just to at least win one round. But that's a very interesting matchup.
How about to close out Thursday night? We got your Drake Bulldogs taking on. They are the favorite against Washington State -1.5. So I will be firing them.
It's gonna be a good game. It's a good day. It's a good day of games.
It's a good day. Friday, we'll just run through these real quick before we get out of here. +2.5 Northwestern against Florida Atlantic. I love the Owls.
FAU.
Love FAU. So I'm going to take them. Got Baylor Colgate. Colgate is a +13.5. I never know with Baylor. The one year they made their championship run, I did not expect them to, and then they
smoked everybody.
They smoked everybody, and they were just so physical, and they were just making shots. Davion Mitchell was elite. That was a year. How about UAB against San Diego State? They are 7.5 point dogs. Good game. So that is going to be a really good game. San Diego State. I still remember when Steve Fisher was the coach, but Western Kentucky. Is he alive? Did he die? You said R.I.P. I don't know.
No, I said R. I didn't say R. No.
I thought you were going R.I.P. there,
rest,
man.
Rest. No, just rest.
Right. Western Kentucky plus 14.5 against Marquette. I like Marquette. I
would like to see a 15 here. If there's any 15, it's going to be them or South Dakota State. But I'm trying to think of Western Kentucky's best player, but I'm really drawing a blank. So
if Kolek's good to go, then I think the Marquette.
Yeah, and I think he is. As long as he is, they're good.
So there's that. How about where am I at? Stetson. Shout out to
Let's
Stetson.
go.
Playing
Shout out to
UConn.
Stetson.
They're gonna get smoked probably. So it's 26.
Stop it. We rep Stetson down here. I forget their campus is somewhere close around here, so we rep them hard. But they're going to get absolutely obliterated.
I think Clemson's pretty good, but they're dogs against New Mexico. They are 2.5-point dogs against Clemson. Seems like they ruined a lot of my parlays this year. That's why I say that.
Yeah, they won games, and then you're like, all right, let's bet it, and they lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jamal Mashburn Jr. With also Jalen House, JT Toppin, Nelly Jr. Joseph. Who I think played for Rick. Man. He played for Rick Pitino for like 3 years at Iona. Now he's playing in New Mexico. What's that guy? Donovan Dent. I think he had a seizure. No, what happened? He got diarrhea mid game or something. He still put up like 20 points. So I love New Mexico. That's my squad. The problem is very inconsistent, just like most of those Mountain West teams. So I favor them over Clemson, but Clemson has a pretty decent squad. We'll see if they can finally make it work in March. So
now we got Auburn, Yale. Auburn 12.5-point favorite. That's one of yours.
Danny Wolf, big fan of the way he plays on Yale, the big white center, but they probably just can't get it done against Auburn.
That's a tough matchup. Nebraska minus 1.5 against Texas A&M.
No idea who's going to win that one. A&M 14 losses,
I'm
but
staying away from
Tyrese Radford and Wade Taylor, 2 stud guards, I think. Also, Nebraska has the Asian fella, Casey Tominaga. He's a bucket. So it's going to be a just guard matchup in that game. I'm actually excited. I'm probably going to predict it wrong, but
yeah, that's usually one of them. The Mate 9 have me in hell usually. How about Duke, Vermont? Duke minus 12.5. We talked about that. We just think Duke, this is not the year for Duke to go down early on. Alabama, Charleston.
I wanted to pick them.
Alabama's kind of fraudulent, but I
wanted to take my. They score like 100 points a game.
I know.
You know?
They play no defense
tough for anybody.
At all.
Right. So I think Rain Smith, Anti Brasovich, Ben Burnham. They have some decent players. Kendall Rogers, Kobe Rogers, I should say. I like CFC. I think this it's going to be a little tough.
How about Longwood, Houston? We think we know. We don't even have to talk about that too much. Yeah, Longwood's going to get smoked. How about JMU 5.5 against Wisconsin? You've already discussed. That's one of your teams you're picking. TCU, Utah State. Utah State is a plus 4.5 underdog to TCU. TCU, they did not make a run. I'm thinking of Kansas State last year because they both have the same colors. But how about Grand Canyon? St. Mary's. This one I truly think is a game where it could go either way. St. Mary's had a good year, but you just never know with those West Coast Conference schools. It's really, Gonzaga has had elite teams, and they have faltered. And then when I think they're going to lose, they go out and they take out UCLA, my national champion last year, and break my heart. So
yeah, Grand Canyon also coached by Bryce Drew. If you remember him, he was the one who made that big shot a while back.
Yeah, and his brother coaches at Baylor.
Scott, yep.
How about it?
And Tyon Grant Foster is the best player for Grand Canyon. He's like a 6'7", 200-pound freak athlete who can now shoot the ball. I guess he can shoot the ball now. So he played at Kansas as I think he was a JUCO transfer, and he was terrible. He was so bad. You could tell there was something there potential-wise, but he had to go to somewhere where there was no pressure, where he could just kind of work through the kinks mid-season, like something you can't do at Kansas. Went to DePaul. That didn't work. That place is a goddamn mess. I think he only played one game. Got hurt, transferred to Grand Canyon, averages 20 points a game. So just, I also think he had some kind of heart issue on the court. So to see him battle back from that, yeah, well, it happened a while ago. But to see him battle back from that, it's a good story. They have a pretty good team, pretty good team. Ray Harrison also, they can shoot the hell out of the ball. Good coach who's also been there. St. Mary's, they just beat Kansas. No, they didn't. That was BYU. They just beat Gonzaga, but other than that, man, I wasn't too impressed with St. Mary's. I know they have Aiden Mahoney, the kid Augustus Marcelonis, the Lithuanian, but I think that's a team that is very for him
Fraudulent.
to be upset. Yeah. I kind of like Grand Canyon. The fact that the spread's only 5, I don't know.
That's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. So that will wrap it up for the NCAA talk and for the Hot Take Hot Box. We do not know if we're going to have a Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast this week.
Stay tuned.
Last week's fight card was so bad, we don't even know if we really want to waste time talking about this and giving picks and losing money. And we've already.
I think
we tell you not to bet it anyway, but
yeah, we do. We try to preface it. I will say I think maybe this weekend is better than last weekend, but I don't think that's saying much.
Maybe we will. So who knows? Until then, my name is Matt McSweeney.
I am Ty Capone.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you fraud check all of your bets this weekend and make sure that you have a great time. Enjoy some adult beverages. Enjoy the Christmas for adults that is the National Collegiate Athletic Association men's basketball tournament.
We sleep in May.